Welcome everyone to this exclusive Undisputed Nerds Strikes Again channel content where we go through this week's hottest tips and bits. I am the Gentlemanly Gamer, and as always, I am joined by the Captain, Mr. Zany Taicho. Say hello, Zane.
Oh, zany. I like it.
Yeah.
Hello. Evening. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Guys, this is a bit of exclusive extra content that we do that is supposed to be accompanied side by side with our Undisputed Nerds podcast, which you can find on all available podcasting platforms as well as on YouTube at the official Undisputed Nerds channel. So if you haven't already, go and check that out. But Zane, we're here this week to talk about some hot news. Now, I will prefix this with, this is the week that San Diego Comic-Con is happening. So a lot of news is going to come out of that. And this show's released on a Monday, and we filmed this on a Thursday. So we're gonna miss some news, is what I'm saying to you. So next week we'll be covering some more news. But this week we're leaving DC to a side because we're expecting huge things coming out of San Diego Comic-Con for DC this week. So you've got your choice, Zany baby. You've got your Misk and you've got your Marvel. Which do you want to tackle first?
I'd like the Misk, please, sir.
Oh, you saucy little devil. Well, okay, I'll give you some Misk. So, we've got some John Wick news this week. John Wick Chapter 4. The rumored title is I'm gonna butcher this, Zane. I'm so sorry. John Wick Chapter 4. Hagakure.
Okay.
Hagakure. That's what the rumored title of it is. There's been like a little picture that's released of it. It's a promo material. It's not worth showing. It's basically John Wick sitting in what looks like a kind of like religious like setting, maybe a church, possibly the underground sewer where he was left at the end of John Wick 3. There's a very good chance there'll be some stuff announced at San Diego Comic-Con for it. I'm going to have a look at what Hagakure means in, I'm assuming in Japanese. It's, okay. Hagakure, it's actually, there is a book. It's the Book of the Samurai.
Oh.
It's a practical and spiritual guide for a warrior, drawn from a collection of commentaries by clerk Yamamoto Tsunetomi, former retainer to Nabeshima Mitsukishi, the third ruler of what is now Saga Prefecture in Japan. So basically, it's John Wick 4 samurai stuff, innit? Are you excited for John Wick 4? Are you excited to see where his story presumably ends? I don't think they'll go any further than this.
Yeah, I am excited because I have to admit, like, with each John Wick movie, I'm always pleasantly surprised, like, how much they manage to pull off. And obviously there's always those sweet headshots that he likes to dish out. So, yeah. I am a little bit excited, yeah.
I think the thing I'm most looking forward to in John Wick 4 is finally the reveal of Lovejoy actor himself, Ian McShane, doing Gun Carter. It's what we've always wanted to see.
Wow, what a callback.
There you go. You know, it's not just
wow.
Oh, listen, it's not just the antiques that Lovejoy knows how to put a number on. Now he knows how to put the hits. All right. So there you go. Yeah, we're all excited.
I should really rewatch Equilibrium.
Yes, you should. Equilibrium was great.
Years since I've seen. Yeah,
one of the classic Sean Bean deaths, shot through a book. Absolute classic. That's what we should do an episode on, the many deaths of Sean Bean.
Apparently, John Hurt has had more than Sean Bean.
Really?
Apparently,
that surprises me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which ones. I can think of Alien, obviously. I can think of Doctor Who, where he just dies of old age.
I think he was a dragon in Merlin, the TV show.
But right,
Yeah.
okay, okay, all right, okay. Are we talking about actual physical? The actor dies, or are we talking about like CGI creations that dies? Because I mean, I will say that Sean Bean's had some of the best ever. I mean, like from shot in the head to crashing a boat to getting beheaded to being knocked off a cliff by a bunch of rampaging cows. He's had literally every best death. That is a legitimate death, by the way. I can't remember which film it's in, but yeah, he's been trampled off of a cliff by cows.
It's one way to end sharp.
Exactly.
Wasn't he a helicopter?
Yeah. Oh, satellite dish fell on him in GoldenEye.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, technically thrown off at first, but yeah, the satellite dish is what did him in. Anyway, all right. Sorry, moving on. We got sidetracked very much there. I apologize. Right. So, Zane, carrying on with the miscellaneous side of things. Say it with me. You're never going to say it with me because you don't know what's coming, but I'm going to say it. Mortal Kombat! We were all excited when Thank you. We were all excited when the new Mortal Kombat movie came out. It was actually reasonably good, even though it didn't actually have the Mortal Kombat tournament in it. Spoilers for that film. But one of the side things about that, that despite it was being released in the middle of the pandemic, it actually made quite a good. It exceeded box office expectations. It made 84 million worldwide against a meager $55 million budget, which is quite good considering it was in the middle of the pandemic. So. The trade is revealing that the sequel is happening. The sequel is happening.
Wow.
Apparently, director Simon McQuoid is returning. And here's where it gets really interesting. And you're going to strap in for this one. The writer of Moon Knight, Jeremy Slater, will be penning the script.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. It's amazing, isn't it? Because it's like this is another example of that classic. So Mortal Kombat 1, the remake Mortal Kombat 1 from 2021. Do you know what the current scores are on Rotten Tomatoes for critics versus audience score for Mortal Kombat 1? So it has a 54% for critics, and it's got an 86% audience score.
What?
Yep, 86% audience score. I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I thought it was great, especially I'm not sure. The only bit I didn't really like was Jax's little tiny horrible arms after, when he's got those like horrible mechanical arms. I'm just like, you couldn't have got him anything better than that, really? Those are what you're going with? Those? And then he gets beefed up when he gets his like Mortal Kombat Chi or whatever it was. But yeah, I'm. What are your thoughts on this? I think I'm genuinely very excited by the idea that the Moon Knight writer is writing it. But what do you think, Zane?
I felt like it was a movie of two halves. Like the first half was incredible. Like when you see the history of, is it Scorpion or Scorpio?
Yes, Scorpion. Don't say Scorpio.
Scorpion.
We'll get letters.
I thought that was. But yeah, I thought that was amazing. And then like there's like I don't want to say it's a tonal shift, but it feels like really weird towards the second half of the movie. Like the main character gets like almost like plot armor, so he can defend his family and stuff. And like I don't know too much about Mortal Kombat games, so I don't know how faithful it is. But there's some great action sequences in it. But
okay, the main guy who's in the Mortal Kombat movie is not in the games.
Yeah. Okay.
So the guy who has that weird like bioorganic armor thing that protects him from stuff, he's not a character from the games. That's just written for the movie. That's all movie, baby. Everyone else in it was in the games. They're all in the game. I assume that guy's going to be in Mortal Kombat 12 when that game comes out. But I think the thing about Mortal Kombat, right, is that the games themselves are. We're probably going to get letters after I say this. The games themselves are just stupid fun, right? Like the idea is that they're just bloody violent fun. You know, it's punchy. It's got some cool lore to it. Don't get me wrong. Like there are some cool characters and some cool ideas and concepts in it, but it is just punchy fun. Like the last game, for God's sake, that like every time they make a Mortal Kombat game, it's always a bigger bad than the one before. You know, it's suffering from the Marvel situation where it's like in the, you know, it was Shang-Chi, and then it was not Shang-Chi, sorry, it was Shang Tsung. It was Shang Tsung. And then Shang Tsung was supposed to be working for Shao Kahn, and then it turned out that Shao Kahn was just the ruler of one world, and there were many worlds that were bad, and it was this sorcerer Quan Chi who was responsible for all of it. And then it turned out that Quan Chi was working for this big god called Shinnok, and then it turned out that Shinnok was part of a wider group of gods. There was another one called Chronica who wants to remake all of time, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just like, yeah, all right, well, why don't we just fight the universe itself then? Is that what we want? The embodiment of the universe will be the next game, will it? So it does have its ridiculous nature. But I think that the way that the film captured... obviously, it didn't have the tournament, which is the whole point. It's a Mortal Kombat tournament. Like, that's the whole point. They fight for realms. That's the idea. So, like, there's a different... That's why you get all these monsters and horrible people with big teeth, is they're all from different realms, like nether realms and stuff like that. But like they didn't actually have a tournament. It was all the prep for the tournament. So I assume the second one is going to be like the main fighting tournament, which means they're going to have to kill off some characters because it's Mortal Kombat. So yeah, I've really enjoyed the film though. I thought it was really fun, and I'm excited for the second one, especially as it's being written by Moon Knight guy, because I thought Moon Knight was well, that's what I'm going to call him. I can't remember what's his name. I can't remember what his name is now. I've lost his name. The Moon Knight guy.
It's Moon Knight guy.
Yeah, it's Moon Knight guy. Yeah. I'm just looking forward to it. Moving on from that Mortal Kombat to more miscellaneous. I am curious what your thoughts are on this, Zane. This is not really anything exciting. It's just of note because there's been an interview this week with actors Sam Worthington and Kate Winslet, who are going to be starring in the upcoming Avatar: The Way of Water. Now, you and I have different opinions, I think, on Avatar. I think that this is where I'm going to... Feel free to correct me on this, right? I think that you love it and I hate it.
Sure. Oh, you couldn't be more wrong.
You hate Avatar?
I hate it with a passion.
Oh my god, thank God. Somebody else. You see, this is why we do the podcast, guys. Oh, thank God. Yeah, okay, because like there's so many things coming up about Avatar: Way of Water and how it's going to remake cinema again. And I'm just like, I don't want it to. Because I hated Avatar
like last time.
With a passion. Yeah, last time where, 3D became a fad again for 15 years and now it's dying down. I hate Avatar so much, and I'm sorry for those people who listen to this podcast and love it. You're entitled to your own opinion. It's just your opinion's wrong. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're entitled to your own opinion. Fair enough. But I hated Avatar, and I couldn't be less excited. James Cameron needs to refocus his efforts on what brought him to the dance, which is Terminator. He needs to make a decent Terminator film and actually make it good. Even though Dark Fate was good, and I enjoyed Dark Fate, and I think it got a really bad rap. The ending kind of fell apart a little bit, but like I enjoyed Dark Fate a lot. But like, Jesus Christ, this is just... I hate Avatar, and I hate it going everywhere. Please talk about how much you hate Avatar for a bit, Zane.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like when you look into it, it's everything else around it. They CGI put in a cigarette for Sigourney. I can't say her name. Sigourney Weaver's character.
Sigourney Weaver.
Thank you. You know, that famous actress.
Yeah, I know. Sigourney Beaver.
She had a CGI cigarette. That's how
Yeah.
expensive this movie needed to be.
That's how preposterous it was. Yeah.
The fact that it's a reskin of, the reskin of Pocahontas is just ridiculous. The fact that Steven Spielberg created a whole new language for the Na'vi is ridiculous. It's just, it's just cuckoo around it. And look, again, if you love this movie, that's absolutely fine. But at the same time, for me, it's just not worth the film it's printed on.
Agreed, 100%. I was so happy when Endgame beat it at the cinema, at the box office, to be the number one movie in the world. And I honestly, I'm genuinely frustrated that James Cameron re-released Avatar just to get it back into the number one spot in China. And that's how he got it back into the number one spot. Yeah. And it's oh yeah, that's good, James. Yeah, Endgame beat yours with one release. You've had to release yours 3 times now to keep it on the top spot. I wonder how many times if they re-release it, it would hit the top spot over yours. I do wonder, but yes, I hate it. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get away from Avatar as quickly as possible. I'm sorry I brought it up, Zane.
It's all right. I mean, look, I'm sure it's going to be visually stunning, but yeah, I'm not hyped for it at all.
I'm sure it's going to be visually BS. Anyway, moving on. So we've got Marvel news. Moving on to Marvel news now. There's been some confusion, Zane. Yeah, we're doing Marvel news. There's been some confusion when it comes to the different TV shows that Marvel have had on their slates over the years. So we've obviously had the Daredevils, we've had the Jessica Joneses, we've had the Moon Knights and the whatnot. But the one that always kind of gets forgotten, the ugly stepchild, if you will, of the Marvel family, is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which never gets brought up enough. Well, there has been some conversations this week regarding specifically Chloe Bennett's Quake. Apparently, there are rumors abound that we are going to be seeing Quake turning up in the MCU very soon, and she's going to be getting a new origin story. Do I smell some mutancy coming in, Zane? I think I do. So, reliable insider Casey Walsh recently responded to a tweet from one of the social media's many self-proclaimed scoopers regarding this and regarding Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And how it kind of fits in and what's going on with it. So, he responded with this. Feige and company are treating Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as another universe. Daisy in the 616 will have a new origin. However, aspects of her Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story will be incorporated as a nod to all of the diehard fans. The creative team behind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have given their blessing for this. Walsh then went on to say, for the people who need to hear it, this is essentially how they explain the inclusion of the Netflix characters as well. So, seems like Quake is coming into the MCU sooner rather than later. Zane, sounds like she might be turning from an inhuman into a mutant human. What are your thoughts on this, buddy? Are you excited to see Daisy Johnson? Presumably Chloe Bennett would be coming in, I would guess. I don't know, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't even finish season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I heard it went on to better things with the Hydra stuff, and as you mentioned, I only found out probably last week that they covered Inhumans. I had no idea that they did the whole sort of Inhumans and stuff.
Yeah.
So but I've heard good things about the cast and things of that nature. Because isn't that Mockingbird? Is that the actress Mockingbird or?
I mean, Mockingbird is in that. Yes. It's what's her name?
Right.
The lady who was going to be Wonder Woman. I can never say her name. Adriana Palicki. I think that's how you say her name. Adrienne Palicki.
Yeah.
Is that how you say her name? Something like that. Yeah. I watched up to season 5 or 6, I think, of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Basically, when they started getting the Kree, when the Kree started turning up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's when I watched up to. I will say, just throwing this in here as well, there was also the guy who said who's Fitz, Ian de Kerstecker, if that's how you say his name. He plays Fitz in the show. He's confirmed that he's not interested in coming back, so he will not be joining the MCU if they do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover. Yeah, he's a good actor as well. But no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was really good. Like, it started off a bit weird. I don't think it knew where it was going in the first season. And then the Hydra thing happened in Winter Soldier, and it changed everything. And then season 2 was kind of the fallout of like Hydra, and also Chloe Bennett started off in the show as this character called Skye, who nobody really knew who she was.
Yeah.
And then it at the end of season 1, it was confirmed that she was Daisy Johnson, aka Quake, and she was an Inhuman. And then season 2 was all about the Inhumans, and like basically them and their journey. And it had the guy from Twin Peaks in it. I can't remember what the guy's name is. Anyway, good actor from Twin Peaks. And then season 3 was all about there's a baddie called Hive, who's like a Hydra baddie, and he was the main guy in season 3. And then season 4 was the weird, we're in the Matrix, Hydra's taken over, and it's crazy season, and everyone's gone bad. And that was really good. Season 4 is the best season. Season 4 is the best season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was great. So yeah, no, I really enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought it was great, and it's sad that Phil never got another chance in the main MCU, but it's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess, I'm afraid, Zane. Right, anyway, so 2 more bits of news for Marvel, and then we'll round it off. So this one's hilarious. You sent this to me this week, but we're going to talk about it on the show. So Sony, they're at it again. Sony bosses believe that Venom 2 deserves credit for Top Gun Maverick's box office success. Grindstein, during an interview with Vulture, Grindstein cites the Venom sequel, which released in theaters last October to a $90 million debut, as a gamble which paid off and encouraged other studios to follow suit with big screen releases. They suggested that their studio deserves at least some credit for getting audiences back into theaters in bulk during the pandemic, thus setting the stage for Maverick to swoop in and clean up. This is a direct quote from him. Wow. When we first started releasing movies last October, there were really no other big movies. Everyone had pushed their big movies to this year, to the summer. We took a big gamble putting Venom in theaters. Then we doubled down with Ghostbusters. Then our biggest bet was when every other tentpole had fled, we tripled down with Spider-Man, our biggest, most important piece of IP. There's so much press about Top Gun right now. It's like the movie business is back. In a weird way, I would say Top Gun is benefiting from us taking our shot. Venom is the start of that story, and that allowed Top Gun to do the same kind of business that it did. These things don't happen overnight. It's a seeding. I may have done my slightly Sony executive voice for that. Zane, what are your thoughts on Sony single-handedly saving Hollywood?
I mean, I'm surprised in that quote he didn't mention Morbius.
I mean, right? Talk about single-handedly saving the movie industry.
What a real way to pat yourself on the back, isn't it? Like, we started cinema with Venom 2, that movie.
Yeah.
and then we kept going.
And then as much as I enjoyed it, the very divisive Ghostbusters was obviously what kept people coming back into the cinemas. And then, them doing all the work on Spider-Man with no involvement from Marvel is what got people into the cinemas, right? That makes sense. Yeah. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Shang-Chi released before Venom?
I think it was.
Yeah, and I think
Eternals?
and Black Widow.
Did Black Widow have a Disney Plus premiere?
No.
No,
it came out at the cinema because I went to see it at the cinema.
Oh, we had this discussion before, didn't we?
Did,
because you were like, "Aren't you going to see it?" And I was like, "I've already seen it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was So yeah, but no, Sony single-handedly saved the cinema business, and they're responsible for all the seeding of the success. Certainly not. You know, also for the record as well, Mortal Kombat came out during the pandemic and made money.
Godzilla vs Kong.
But it's just like, yeah, if anything, Sony benefited from the seeding of Marvel and other cinema groups who released films during the pandemic. June! I think June came out before it as well. Oh,
the history books would just say Sony saved cinema.
Yeah, history's written by the winners, and Sony definitely are winners, aren't they? It's Morbid time. Right. Okay. So, all right, let's get to the final bit of news. This is big. This is really big, Zane. So, brace yourself. This is what we've been working up to with this tips and bits thing. This should have really been in our main podcast, but never mind. Let's just get past that. So, an eagle-eyed Reddit user seems like they have unearthed one of Marvel's most guarded secrets, and if their discovery proves true, it could change the MCU as we know it forever. So, from browsing the Europa Trademark site, so this is the Europa Trademark site that it basically holds all the copyrights for upcoming, patents and that side of things. Redditor, it's a great Redditor name. Redditor Long John Silver has discovered the following trademark filings for Marvel. Are you ready for this, Zane?
Okay.
So, in no particular order,
I'll ever be.
We have Thunderbolts, Captain America: New World Order. We have Multiverse Saga. Then we have Avengers: Secret Wars, and this is the weirdest one as well. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
So, first two, the Avengers sequels, obviously, are pretty self-explanatory. Seems like New World Order is the subtitle for the Anthony Mackie-fronted fourth installment in Captain America series. Multiverse Saga is likely the official title for the Phase 4 to 6 films. So it's like the Infinity Saga, but Multiverse Saga. And it seems like there's a lot more confirmation on that Thunderbolts film. Thoughts on this, Zane? That would pretty much pit. I think Secret Wars is going to be the end of Phase 5. I think it's going to be Avengers: Secret Wars, and then Phase 6 will be the Kang Dynasty. Will be Phase 6. If Kang is the big Thanos level bad that we're talking about in this series, what do you think? Give me your thoughts.
Secret Wars has been something that every content creator from small to big has been like putting their tin hats on. Like everything's leading to Secret Wars. I know years ago the Russo brothers said they would only come back to do Secret Wars. Yeah. So it all makes sense that, you know, all paths would eventually lead to a Secret Wars movie, if that is split into 2 parts, 1 parts, whatever. But the Kang Dynasty intrigues me, and so does the Multiverse Saga. You say?
Yes, the Multiverse Saga. The Multiverse Saga, I would say, makes a lot of sense because it's probably going to be the shell to encompass everything that is like Infinity Saga was for 1 to 3. So it's like Phase 1 to 3 is the Infinity Saga, Phase 4 to 6 is the Multiverse Saga. So that doesn't really surprise me that much. Kang Dynasty, it does surprise me. I wonder if it's going to be a time travel-y film again, in which case I get worried that they might fall into the same trap with Endgame, where it's like that was kind of time travel-y. We'll see. I don't know how they're going to do that. New World Order is intriguing for Captain America. I wonder if that's going to be a Hydra-esque New World Order, because there was rumors that Red Skull's daughter was going to be the bad guy in that. I think Sin was going to be the daughter. Was going to be the bad guy. So I wonder if that's what it's going to be, like the New World Order of Hydra is what Captain America has to take on in his film. But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Let the speculation begin. I hope those things are true. I hope those things are true. That would be a very cool set of.
I really like those. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good. So anyway, yeah, that's the last bit of news I had this week. What are you guys excited to see? Obviously, San Diego Comic-Con is coming out. Let us know. Write in. Get in touch with us at all the usual channels and mediums and means.
All relevant links will be in the description down below.
Lovely. Yeah, and we'll be back next week for more on this channel. And check out our main podcast, Undisputed Nerds, on Spotify and on YouTube. Take care, everyone, and we hope you have a great week.